Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. I have the great pleasure of introducing Laura Watt. Now, Laura, I've been working with for the last week, and she is a PD. Now, first of all, I'm going to ask Laura, who are you and what is a PD?
So my name's Laura Watt, and a PD stands for Producer Director.
That is great. So, how did you get into becoming a producer director?
So I went down the university route.
Okay.
I sort of decided I wanted to work in television when I was quite young. Firstly, I thought in front of the camera. I did a little weekend course on that and I thought, no way. So then I thought, oh, what about behind the camera? So I did media studies for A-level, then went to uni and studied television production. Because I had no other way, no contacts or anything to get into it. And then from that got some work experience as part of my course, and then did that and got offered a job, and I was in.
You were in?
Yeah.
And is that the thing, get in and then it starts to progress?
Yeah, it's getting your foot in the door really, and making some contacts and getting some credits under your belt, and then once you've got that, then you build on that and build on that. And
so look, obviously we've been together for the last, I think, 10 days. And your work ethic, where did you get that from?
I don't know, to be honest. I love what I do, and I want to do the best, and I want to make it the best I can. So I think that's just drives me forward.
Was there anyone that you... So when I was a chef, I went to work in several restaurants, and there was a person who approached me and asked me to be a chef for him. He was Italian. His name is Valerio Casalari. He's a godfather of one of my sons. And he saw me and he said, I want you to come work for me. But when I saw his work ethic, although he owned the restaurant, he came in the morning and he was dusting the back of the chairs. He was doing, all the picture rails, the aircon. I'd never seen anything like it. And so none of the waiters could sit down and be lazy. There was this work ethic. You got in and you worked, and it was working hard. So was there anyone like that early on that you saw that you thought, that's what I need to do?
I think there's just generally been lots of people like that over my career. I've been very lucky with the people I've worked with. I've worked with lots of people who have taught me things and inspired me in lots of different ways. I would say I learned very little at university.
I think most of us do.
So what actually happens in the job. I do remember when I was doing my work experience, I had to do like a write-up about it afterwards. And I actually wrote in there that I thought my experience as a waitress was more useful than my course. They weren't very happy about that. But as a runner, that's the kind of, it's that personality, it's, you are making tea, you're helping with whatever jobs need doing, and it's that personality and like talking to people that gets you through, which waitressing really helped with.
Well, I'm very fortunate because I know Alan Mallory, who was a captain of the England football team back in 1970. He was like David Beckham of today. And he told me his story. He said when he was 16 years old at Fulham, he had his first year job was chasing the rats. The second year was cleaning the boots. And then he said he saw one of the best footballers, Finney, at the end of the session of training, everyone else would go home and he'd put a bath towel out and he would cross the ball 60 yards until he did it 10 times in a row. He wouldn't go home, even in the dark. And he did that, and he thought, when I saw that, if I want to be good, I have to do the same. And he sacrificed all his social life because he wanted to be the best, and he became the England captain. So the thing is, look, I'll be honest with you, Laura, I have not seen a work ethic in my working life, and I worked as a chef, in the Italian field and French field for many, many years, as you've worked in the last 10 days. Honestly, I am shocked. I do not know how you do it, but you've had to sacrifice things to get there.
Yeah, of course you do. But I think there's a love of it. I've got a love of telling people's stories, and there's definitely sacrifices you make. I mean, there's positives and negatives because I'm a freelancer, I'm self-employed, which brings positives of, if I want to sort of take a break for a while, I can, but also negatives, in that you can't plan anything, and you do you do give up a lot to work. You work weekends, you work away a lot, but I love it.
Right. So, in your progression in your work, and look, honestly, your work ethic, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that. What things have you had to get out? So, if there was a young person that said, "I want to get into television and I want to get to PD and beyond," what should they be thinking? Not just to learn, but to actually give up and to make that sacrifice to get there.
I don't think it's about necessarily, like, I don't think I thought about it as a sacrifice when I was a sort of runner. I think I just thought, this is what I want to do. And it's a great job in that you are meeting different people every day. You're having experiences that most people don't get to have, and from one week to the next you can be in completely different places. I would say an advice to a young person is to think ahead and help and push forwards in any way you can. So say if you're a runner, think, right, okay, so this is coming to an end. Look at the schedule or the script or whatever you've got, and it's like, right, what's next? What can I do to help prep that? And I think that's what makes a really good junior person.
Okay, so that brings me on to managing people, and you've had to manage me and some of my family this week, and I have to say that we spent a long time together, and you've managed us, and I have to tell you that you have got us to, if it's a 10-point scale, you've got us the maximum out of us to 9.9, and if you'd gone to 10 you would have seen resistance.
Okay.
But that's that, how did you do that? Have you what lessons have you learned, and how have you learned that? Is that something that you have naturally? How do you, or who have you looked at to learn that skill? Because it really is a skill.
That's quite difficult to answer, because I don't know. It's knowing who you're working with, just learn, and just reading people, I think, and knowing how much further you can push them before you lose them.
But it is a skill.
I think it's just something that maybe is learned over time. Maybe I wouldn't have been able to do that sort of 9 years ago.
But it is a skill, because you recognise how far you can go, and you must be thinking internally.
Yeah, when to cut it. There's times where I could carry on, and I know that it's like, I could get that, and I should get that, but it's like, there's a balance, and I think you've sometimes just got to make that decision between keeping people happy and maybe getting some extra stuff.
But I mean, honestly, I am astounded, and that's the word I need to use. I'm astounded by your work ethic, because your team take breaks and they sit down and rest, and you don't. And I have rarely seen the commitment to go all the way through, to stay on point, all the way through, and then you got to go. You must have you had a mentor that's helped you do that, or is it a life decision? If I want to be great, I need to pay the piper.
I've had a few mentors, I would say. I've worked with some really great people. Simon Greenwood would be my latest, who actually gave me my position as a producer director. He promoted me and took a chance on me. I worked with a great woman called Eve Kay, who taught me a lot. I did sort of 3 different series with her, and she was great. Before that, there was another director when I was younger who really took me under their wings and taught me how to shoot. Mm-hmm. There's been lots of people who helped me along the way, and I think that's what's that's important, and that's how you learn and you move forward.
And I had to ask you, because in business as well, how have you in your mind reacted when you've had setbacks and disappointments?
I mean, it depends. There's setbacks and disappointments every day in life, isn't
absolutely. There? Absolutely. But you've done it and you've moved forward.
I'm quite a positive thinker, and I think, and I always sort of tried to say to myself, well, look, what's done is done. Yeah. There's no point in dwelling on it, because it's done. You can't change it. You can't change the past. You can never change the past. What you can do is figure out how to best fix it.
It's great. It's great.
Or work forward in the future.
All right. So what I want to ask you now is, what's your goal? What are your goals for the next 5 years?
I'm not sure at the moment. My goal was to get to where I am now. That was always my goal, my whole way working through TV. And I've been at PD level for a year or so now. And I think I would like to. I mean, the next step in television is series producing. Right. So my more recent goal at the moment is to do more in the edit, to take things through to the edit and edit produce. And grasp that side of things a bit more. I've done a bit, but I'd like to do a lot more. And then the next step from that would be series producing. But yeah, I can't see myself leaving television.
No, not at all. No, look, I have to say, I really struggle. In this week or 10 days we spent together, if I was micromanaged, even in the smallest level, I would have kicked back and said, look, this is not going to happen unless you back off and give me space. And that's nothing to do with me. It's just, well, maybe it is in the character. And I think I'm fairly easy to work with.
Yeah, no, you've been great to work with. Your whole family.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I think that's been, and it's been a pleasure with you guys. Don't get me wrong, 10 days together, we can't wait till we can have our life back again. And you as well.
You say that, but you're keeping me here.
I know. But it's true. And you know, I look, obviously, when you go on, I think that when people work with you, you do shine. There's no doubt about that. You got your staff and they rest and they have their little breaks. You don't. But you are on it. And I think you will just shine. And in business, I look for people that are prepared, what I call to pay the piper. And when they do that, they shine, and you definitely shine. So I have no doubt that you're going to go through and do whatever there's no limit on what you want to achieve. Absolutely.
Thank you, Trevor, that's really fun.
No, it's true. No, honestly, it's really, I'm impressed with people's work ethic. And look, obviously I'm in property. If people were to put in the hard work that you put into what you do professionally, success is guaranteed. Honestly, I promise you, if people that came to me and said, Trevor, can you teach me? And they took it up as you do your job, because rarely do people do your job like as you do, then I would actually put my hand on the fire and say, I know you're going to make a success.
Thank you.
So look, one of the things, I know that you've purchased a property recently.
Yeah.
And that's your residential property. But already you're looking forward. I love this about you. You've got vision, because you've said to me, Trevor, how do I get into property and what do I do?
Well, I shouldn't spend 10 days with a property expert, should I? Not make the most of it.
But it's true. So, you know, is this something...
nice to make some money like elsewhere as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So is this something that you would be interested in?
Potentially. My dad's been in property.
Oh.
I haven't really spoken to him in depth about it, or sort of, I don't know what his strategies are or anything like that, but I know that he's sort of done, and he's a landlord and stuff.
You sound like my wife now.
It's a bit like that.
But I honestly think, look, let me give you some advice, if I may. When you meet people who are such hard workers and they are diligent in their work, and you know, honestly, there's so many things I can say about you, and I've talked about your week because I said, you know, she gets me there, and it's enough. But that is a skill. Honestly, you cannot underestimate that. That is a skill that not many people have, and so it's not learned or taught. It's a skill that you have, that you can move people and serve them. I would say it's a service in the way that you serve people, but you know to get the best out of them and don't push them over the edge. But when you see people who are diligent, that's the people that people want to work with. So if you were to go in property, I have no doubt that the people around you, circles and people who have funds, would say, if you're going to do it, well, Laura, I want to invest in you. I guarantee. Because look, whether you do sport or you work with people, you see character, and character is what it's all about.
Well, if I do ever decide to leave TV, then Trevor, I'll have to give you a call.
Well, hopefully we can stay in touch, and maybe you'll put me on TV.
You're on TV.
Yeah, maybe we can do more.
Always looking forward.
Right. So look, in what you want to do, if I asked you in 5 or 10 years, you said that you want to do series, would property go along with that?
Potentially, yeah.
But you would like armchair. I think what you would like is armchair investing, which means you don't want to know about it. You want to invest with someone who you trust, which would be your father, I would suggest, and say, look, Dad, there, I've got some funds, go and do it for me, build me a portfolio. And I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even see it.
Armchair investing. I like
Armchair investing. That's what I do for other people.
Yeah.
But it's about know, like, and trust. And if you do that, and if your father's doing it, then I would say just do it. You know, don't. In this gaming property, there are so many people who lie and cheat and scam and everything else, and I hate it. I really do. So be careful if you go into it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Look, listen, I want to thank you so much. It has been a wonderful week. I know my family impressed with you.
Thank you.
And look, and more than anything, you've been an example, a leader, and a role model to my daughter.
Oh, that's really kind.
You have, and that.
You've got a wonderful daughter.
Thank you. But it's, you know, as you know in life, if you can put those people in front of your family, then that's it. If you put bad role models, they follow them.
Yeah.
So you've been great, and I thank you for that.
So have you. Thank you, and it's been a great 10 days.
Bless. Laura, what? Thank you, guys. Bye.
You.